I think that from now on I'm only going to do unboxing videos. They're much quicker and simpler to do than the technical videos, and they seem to get about 10 times as many views. Anyhow, let's see what goodies Father Christmas has brought me. Now this one seems nice and heavy. What's in here? Very good. Reconditioned alternator. I'm not going to fit this, but I'll carry it to spare. And in this one, right, we have the starter motor. I haven't had the full reconditioning service done on this, but the wearing parts inside have all been replaced by unit exchange. And what's this big boy here? Well, I've got plenty of these plastic bubbly things, and somewhere down here we have a turbo. Now this has been renovated by Midland Turbo. It looks a damn sight nicer than it did when it went away. And last but not least, this is a new battery box. So what's the deal with the battery box? Well, firstly, for the avoidance of doubt, I can confirm that it is possible to get the battery box out without removing the seat boxes. Mind you, all the videos I've seen, the guys have had the seat boxes out and it's been very simple. You start off by drilling out these pop rivets, and it's at this point that it gets very serious because the thing is well wedged in. I use this bad boy as my enforcer, and I had to do some serious damage on both sides in order to get it out. On a scale of 1 to 5, it's at least a level 4 swearing job. Now my big problem with the Land Rover battery box is the waste of space. Look at all this unused space here. And this is where I had my batteries previously, and the space here was really not sufficient to do anything useful with. On the other hand, if you buy one of these, they're squared off, you can push the batteries right out to the outside and you're going to get a lot of useful space in here. And of course, since it comes in pieces, it's going to be much easier to put this one in than to get that one out. It will require a bit of jiggling, but it's quite feasible to do so. And to finish on a positive note, there's a very buoyant market in the UK for used Land Rover parts on eBay. So how much do you think I'll be able to get for this guy? Now the first job I actually completed was installing the battery box. Generally went fine, although it did need a bit of persuasion to get everything to line up. Now there's an awful lot of rivets to do, and where space is restricted, you have to use something like this. You get a good strong handshake when you've used this for a bit, although if you've got a bit more space, far better to use a tool like this. And I put heat insulation in the bottom as a part of heat reduction inside the cab. Now you create a lot more space, and I decided to relocate the compressor, and this put me into a bit of a dilemma. So far I've been using trusty old truck air compressor. I've had it 15-20 years, never let me down, but it's incredibly slow. And I did find that I was getting rather lazy about depressuring the tires, and that's a safety issue. I contacted Matt Savage about the range of air compressors, and he pointed me to a video of an installation of an air inflation system in the battery box of a Defender. This is rather complicated. It's got air reservoir, pressure switches and so forth. Just too much to go wrong, and the sort of trick which I do. For me, the ideal would be to have an inflation system like Land Rover's own. But maybe I'll go for something in the middle. Now the next thing I turned my attention to was the battery charging. When I'm parked up, and if there's mains power available, I plug in, and this goes to a battery charger inside. Now the battery charger I've been using hitherto started to go wrong, it was a bit small, and so I bought a nice ring unit. It's a 12 amp charger and perfectly adequate for my needs. But I also took the opportunity to rewire the solar charge controller. Now the one thing you shouldn't do is you shouldn't have the solar panels plugged in if the charge controller is not connected to a battery. And although Victron say it shouldn't actually destroy their charge controller, I decided to play safe, and so I put in a relay so you can't connect the solar panels unless the charge controller is connected to one of the batteries. And I connect the solar panels here. My solar panels got destroyed on the last trip, and so I bought some folding panels which are going to arrive soon. Another unboxing video.